Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another edition of RobLynn Live with
Ollie, the Wonder Dog.
True. Today is day 234. That's 234 consecutive RobLynn Lives. Not too
shabby.
You're taking your prompts very well, and
A little bit more alert.
Today is the 10th day of April, 2023. And as we mentioned, this is RobLynn Live. We had some events today. I'd like to mention those in passing. Is that okay with you, Miss Nakamoto?
Yes.
All right. At 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, along came the usual Monday. Anything else you need to do? Am I okay? Okay. Monday Fun Day with Jane and Red. And at 11:30, at 11:30, hocus pocus yourself. At 11:30 a.m., along came conductor Grandpa Captain Chris Johnson, the one, the only Chris Johnson, the Joker. I may be the Mad Hatter, but he's definitely the Joker.
Yeah.
And he's the prankster, from what I hear. Just a rumor. At 12 p.m., along came Pop Pop, Marty DeGarmo. And he had some words of inspiration and a few words of warning to if you're doing any of the no-no things, according to the NDA, don't you do it. And at 3 p.m. along came Julie Wynn and Michael Williams with their Monday special, which comes on every Monday. And I believe Mr. Dan Street's here.
Yes.
All right. So we'll bring him on shortly. Mm-hmm. And at 4 p.m. along came Comfort Confor with Andy Burks. And at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it's that time again for the #1 rated 8 p.m. evening chat, RobLynn Live with Ollie,
the Wonder Dog.
Come on, can we have some enthusiasm, please?
That's my enthusiasm.
That's it?
Way.
As of this hour, we haven't noticed a new pop-up in the back office, but please stay focused, stay vigilant, stay ready, stay plugged in, as at any given moment, without any advance notice, we will be shifting into high gear and the highest of gears, open to not only the founders, that ONPASSIVE thing, that movement, that massive movement, but brand ambassadors and the whole world. And it's the 3 free and for thee and me, as well as the #1 audio video conferencing tool, Connect, connecting the world. Yeah. Yep. Connect, connecting the world with a single sign-on. Click in, and you win, Nakamoto. We're just going to make things a little short this evening because we have special guests coming on in a couple of moments. And we had sent out some in about 8 to 10 minutes, right? And please send your love, light, and prayers to Ash and his wife and 2 handsome young men, as well as the teams working so hard on our behalf for their health, for their health and safety. And send your love, light, and prayers to anyone you might know or heard of who may have been injured in an accident or is ill for a complete recovery. We're in a complete recoveries here. And it's time to show the background, since we're going to make this somewhat shorter this evening because of our guest. Yeah. Let's show the background, and we request, that didn't take long, what? 5 minutes, and I'm already bidee. Unbelievable. It's time to show the background, and we request your guesses after Grandma Bobby's bell ringing, and Lynn will highlight a comment as a point to start. Is that what we talked about?
Yes. And when I highlight a comment, then you can start making guesses, all right? So after the bell rings and after I highlight the comment, and what we're going to do is probably just have you guess via your comments. We will not necessarily spotlight the comments because we have 3 presenters today, so we'll just have it the contest happen quietly through the chat. Hope that makes sense to you.
I'd like to say hello to Mr. Peter Rogers, coming to us from the
Hello,
And
Peter
we do
Rogers.
need to mention briefly an announcement that April 22nd is around the corner.
Yes, it is.
And April 22nd will be the meet and greet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, in the UK for UK, Ireland, and other places around the world, because there's a lot of people coming
Oh, yeah.
from other places, which is good
It's going to
stuff.
be an exciting event. If you want more information, head on over to Peter Rogers, or if you don't know how to get a hold of Peter Rogers, just get a hold of us at RobLynnLive@gmail.com, and we will steer you to the UK folks so you can sign up.
Okay. Our new thing, as most of you know, is to say hello to everybody in the chat as you come into the chat.
You
or
try your best.
we
Sometimes
try
you can't, but you try.
beforehand. And I missed a couple of people, as in, let's see, I got Frank Rowe and didn't get Dr. Lisa Lee, didn't get David Switzer. Hello, David. Didn't get Peter Rogers, didn't get Sean, didn't get Eric Kessler, and there's Davina. But we will catch up as we go. All right, so it's time to show the background, and with my knee still bothering me a little, I'm just gonna slip to the side. Are you ready? And as you can see, Ollie seems to, is that food or flowers?
It's
he
like
has?
a bouquet.
A bouquet?
A bouquet of flowers, I think.
All right, I didn't know he ate flowers, but anything's possible at our house. And there's flowers on the left, flowers on the right, and flowers in the middle, and it looks like an ancient, this is not a hint, an ancient golf cart right there, or a Model T, Model A in the front. So we're going to keep this a silent guess where Ollie is. And did you want to ring the bell so they can start guessing now, or wait just a bit?
Oh, they can start guessing now if they want to.
All righty.
You want to do that?
There's Grandma Bobby's cowbell. This bell has traveled well around the world.
Okay, and we're going to start with guesses that come after Zombie Guy saying hello, Gene. So anything below that is that guess will count.
Okay, and as we mentioned, tonight is a special night for RobLynn Live. We welcome what we would call the original three amigos, Marty, Mike, and Dan. We'll bring Dan in just a second. I see he's joining us. And tonight's topic is ONPASSIVE, Nation of Movement Within a Movement, which kind of catchy and
I think we want
kind of fits.
We want to bring the three in together.
Bring the three in together, okay.
So we can go ahead and do the contest for now for the next few minutes until the other two show up.
Okay. We can ask Dan if he's spoken to Marty and Mike in the last few minutes.
Yeah, I texted him, so
Oh, okay.
I messaged him on Messenger.
Okay.
Let's see. So our first guest we have is Lorna Jackson Thomas with Thailand.
All right, that's a good guess. Very good guess.
Frank agrees. He says it's Bangkok, Thailand.
That's another fine guess.
Oh, and here's John. He wants to say that I saw everything today because my recording session was canceled yesterday and today, and I'm here, but I wouldn't have been if I had to record. Aren't you glad I'm here?
Tickled pink, beyond pink.
You're welcome, Peter. So again, contact us or contact Peter Rogers if you want to know about the UK Ireland meetup, April 22. It's just around the corner.
And one other announcement, if we may.
Yes.
If you haven't migrated, please do so. It's a good thing to migrate, and it's a wonderful thing because that's the only way you can get your O-mail set up, and you need an O-mail to do the commissions. So if you're having any trouble at all, contact any of the leaders around the world. You can even send us an email. We've been able to help a number of folks at RobLynnLive@gmail.com. Why couldn't I remember that?
You did.
Well, there's 142 folks on board now. We're just going to wait another couple of minutes for the other two from ONPASSIVE Nation. They should be along directly. And then we'll bring them all on together. Hello to Deborah Long. Any other guesses?
Got all kinds of guesses.
Ooh.
I just got in and rang the bell. LOL. M for Marty is a fruit of ONPASSIVE.
True. And there's number 2.
Number 2 is here.
Number 2 is here. And we're just waiting for Mike, and then we'll bring the 3 of you guys on board.
Yep. We got Zombie Guy saying Japan.
Japan. It could be Japan.
Good morning from Ireland.
Ireland. Sanuta. All right, Sanuta.
Bruce Gerstein says, water lilies make me think of Thailand.
Well, is that your guess, Bruce? Thailand?
Miriam.
Bruce has been in Thailand.
Oh,
Satyana,
so he would
Thailand.
know. Miriam
China.
says China.
Miriam says China.
Roy McPhail says Thailand.
Thailand. Oh, looks like we're getting educated guests again.
Oh, love to you, Kamaki.
Kamaki, we're glad you're here. Thank you. Papua New Guinea in the house.
And Levi says India.
India is the background. All righty, Dighty.
Oh, thank you, Mama Modermo. It should be fun tonight.
A great lineup. Yes, we think so.
Jean loves the background.
Gina Leva in the house.
Get your notepads ready, says David.
That's right. That's right. These guys are full of information.
Let's see if we've got any more guesses. We're waiting for
Mike
Ellis
Ellis
to come in. Taiwan. Let me make sure it was sent to Mike. Let me you can continue while I do this while I go and call Marty.
All right. I think she's gonna call you, Marty. Not sure. Hello, Frank Rue. He says beautiful background, and Srijit saying good evening. Gatam Singh saying hello. Good morning to you. Johnny Simmons in the house saying Thailand. Could it be? Could it be? And here's Davina saying thank you to Frank. And Brain is saying hello. Kamaki saying hello. Robert Riojas. Robert Riojas in the house. Levi is here. Robert McGahee is here. Deborah Long is here. Hello, Deborah. The beautiful background. She is stumped this time. All right. She doesn't usually get stumped. And there's Sherwin Williams. And here's Mike Ellis coming in. So I just added Dan. I added Marty. And if I can figure out how to do the rest of this. Hello, Mike Ellis. Hello, everybody. I think so.
Oh, good job.
Who you calling honey?
Good. Welcome, you guys.
Glad you guys are here, man. It's a Monday night. We cut our remarks short because we want to hear from you guys. And as you may have read, the topic is ONPASSIVE Nation, a movement within a movement. And we sent that along to Ash, too, because we thought maybe he'd like the topic. And we know he'll watch the replay if nothing else. Right, Marty? Right.
Yeah. He'll be watching it, Darren. Pretty sure, yeah.
All right.
He watches it on fast motion, so
well, I don't blame
we all sound like Mickey Mouse, you know.
That's us.
I want to say that a reason why I thought we should present your story, ONPASSIVE Nation story, is I think it's really significant. I think that ONPASSIVE Nation has had an impact in a very positive way on ONPASSIVE, and the contribution for me, in my opinion, has been huge, you know, and I'm grateful to the 3 of you because what you've done for me personally has been big. You know, back in 2019, I was a founder, I was a brand ambassador, but I didn't really understand the gravity of the significance, I guess, of the business model and where we were going with this company. And so I believe that you 3 helped me to understand, you know, clearly. And if not for you, maybe I would have lost interest. I might have wandered away and not come back. But you kept me going. And especially Mike's, the videos, those made a big difference for me. So I'm so grateful. I'm really grateful to you guys. And so I said, hey, we want to feature you tonight on RobLynn Live and have you tell your stories from your own perspective.
Occasionally we'll watch Marty. We try not to do it every day because then it's a habit.
So we'll start with who wants to start?
I don't care. You want me to, Dan?
I'll bring up the rear, guys.
All right.
Okay. How appropriate that is. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't help myself. Hey, anyway, yeah, I don't know how far back to go, but let me. I have to go a little ways back for it all to add up. As everyone knows, or most people know, I started online in 2004. Wound up on disability. I was looking for other ways to bring in some income. So that went on, and I came online, and it took me about 4 or 5 years to figure out I didn't know anything. So and you keep learning as you go, and you hopefully, and I had a budget of 0. Okay. So everything I did just was, you had to do extra work because I didn't have the money to buy things, either apps or whatever we needed. So I got in and I did all the social media. I had 50 Twitter accounts. I had I had 4 or 5 Facebook accounts, and I did things in masses because I didn't know how to do it using bridging over and what you would call leveraging. The leveraging for me was just massive amount of numbers, so it's not really very efficient. But as that happened, I did learn from everything that failed. I learned from it. It's painful, but that's what happened. About 10 years ago, I was in a meeting with a guy named, can't remember his name, Williams, and he was going through some stuff. He was in a business. I joined him. Super nice guy. I mean, I don't want to, there's nothing to put this guy down. He was super nice. And in that meeting was Mike Ellis. And I didn't know him. I don't know if a conversation started. There was probably 100 people there, 200 people. I don't know. It was a good crowd. And we're chit-chatting back and forth. And I don't know if I disagreed. But anyway, something happened. And we left there. And Mike called me. Or somehow we contacted each other. And we talked for a little bit. And we both had the same kind of view on there's big potential in online business. We just got to figure out how to do it and bring everybody with us. And that's well, you'll see how this unfolds. So we get together and we're working on stuff. We joined a couple businesses, and before you knew it, Mike introduced me to his friend, Dan Street. And the three of us was perfect. I'll tell you why. I can't write. I could tell you a story about anything and run my mouth forever, but I can't write it down. So if I had the story and Mike had this story, we put it together, we threw it at Dan, Dan can make it coherent for average people that speak English, because I would just keep running a sentence. I'd have capital letters where they don't belong, whatever. So that was perfect. So we got a guy that can write, and then we didn't know what we wanted to do. So anyway, as this went on, we would build teams, we'd find businesses, and we would make a system. Whatever business we got in, we made a system. And it was taped together and glue and crazy glue or whatever it took. And if you looked at it from the outside, you would definitely be putting those jackets on us that don't have sleeves, okay? Because it was totally bizarre. In fact, we had to even figure out where we at in this thing every once in a while because it was so tangled up. But it was our system, and it worked, believe it or not. So this goes on, and what to cut to the chase, we get in a business. The worst thing of all is you wake up one day and they're gone. Second thing is they don't do what they promise. The third thing is you've invited a lot of people. I mean, we've invited a lot of people that were friends and family, obviously, but we invited a lot of people we didn't know that could be potential friends. And our intent always from day one was, we're going to help you be successful, because we believed the more people you help be successful, you're going to be successful. But the system itself, online system, is rigged so that it can't work that way. It's just impossible for it to work that way. You'll hear people say, well, just duplicate what I'm doing, duplicate. You have to duplicate, you'd have to be cloned, right? Everybody's got a different life. Everybody's got different time. Some people single parents, some people. I had 40 hours a week, and I worked on it 40 hours. No, I worked on it more than 40 hours a week. I can tell you that. I work on it more than 40 hours a week now. But I enjoyed it because I'm learning something every day. So as we're in these businesses, we found out, okay, we're gonna duplicate what we're doing. So we start telling people what we're doing, and they look at us like a deer in the headlights. What the frick are you talking about? And a couple would start to do it, but they kind of, oh, I don't want to do that. It scared them. They don't know. So we said, okay, what do we do now? And then we start to set up a system, and you got a couple of people doing it, and the next day the site's down for maintenance. Well, I figured out maintenance, what that really means is goodbye. All right. So I'm thinking, oh my God, now you got all these people contacting you. What happened? What, you know, and you're the face for hundreds of people, maybe thousands. So they're like, I don't know what happened. I spent $250. I spent $500. Do I get that back? No. So those people aren't going to be real quick to join Marty, Mike, and Dan again, right? Because they want to blame somebody, right? But they don't realize we got messed over too. Right before we found ONPASSIVE, conversations were going towards, I don't know if we keep doing this. Maybe we start our own business. Obviously, it would be small, but there's scripts you can buy or have made fairly cheap. You can get hosting and ramp your way up. That's a lot of work, a lot of time, and Dan only had so much money. Okay, so we were talking about that, but inside for me, I was thinking about quitting doing this because you have to step on so many people to get things moving, and looking in their eyes, they're not going to make it. I mean, I hate to say that. I mean, you started to know if this person can't bring in or show this business to hundreds of new people every week, they're not going to make it. They're just not. Because my effort didn't help anybody in those other businesses. It helps you, but I can't do it for them. Neither could Mike, and neither could Dan. So right before then, I'm thinking, man, this is starting to really suck. I'm 15 years in to jump in and make a little extra money online, and I wound up losing tens of thousands of dollars. Now, since I joined Mike and Dan, I don't think we lost money. I think we actually probably are ahead, but not a lot. But it could have been so much better. Now, if none of us cared about people, we could make money. Looking back at some of the stuff, my heart wasn't in it because I knew nobody's going with us. And we have the ability to bring people in quicker than they quit. That's what marketing is, by the way. It's not right, but that's the ideal marketer in this world right now. They can bring people in quicker than they quit. That's not a business. People are people. They're not numbers. And if you have a heart at all, you're not going to make it. I'm not putting down everybody. I don't think everybody's out to get somebody. But if they were being honest, they know that's true. Nobody could talk me out of it. Numbers don't lie. 98% of the people lose everything they have, and 1% lie. So you're down to like nothing. Anyway, at that time in March, beginning of March, I'm starting to look around. When we were doing a business, we didn't look anywhere. We were dedicated to that business, head down, 100%. We didn't wander around. No, boom. Well, obviously, that's a good thing to happen. If the company doesn't believe the same way you do, you're looking ahead into darkness because they're not going to be there. I don't think any business we were ever in 10 years lasted more than 3 months. That's pretty sad. Either one, we knew they were no good by then. 2, they didn't do what they said. Or 3, they just disappeared. So along comes, I'm looking around. I'm saying, I'm going to go look. But truthfully, in my heart, I thought I'm not going to find what I want. I'm picky. I'm not so I'm picky, but these things I'm looking for, I can't find. Can everybody make money? Is it fair to everybody and all that? So how I wound up doing it, but I saw Peter Rogers. He put something up. I read it and I go, what the frick is this about? So I asked him because I trusted Peter. Peter, what are you doing? Oh, we're with a company called ONPASSIVE. They just named it. I think they just came up with the name. What's it about? He started to tell me. I said, well, let me just ask you a couple of questions. Can anybody do it? Yes. Is it products that we sell? Yeah, digital, and they're in high demand. It's not like we're selling the left-handed widget. I mean, they're in high demand now, so well, that's great. So anybody could do it. It's set up for everybody, unlimited. You can make unlimited amount of money. That's the first time I heard the word unlimited. I love the idea that anybody could do it. So and then we got down to, okay, what's it cost? And he said 97, and he stopped, and I went, oh, man, $9,700. I don't know where I'm gonna. How the heck am I gonna get that? You know, I mean, I'm nice to Dan, but he don't like me that much. You know. Well, they said something back, and they said, no, $97. Well, now I'm thinking, no kidding. And Ash knows this. Thinking, how serious can it be? That's nothing. But I thought, well, it'd be stupid not to pay for it to find out because I want to know now. Okay, what do I got to do? So he gave me a link or something. I said, okay, so I ran back. I didn't actually pay that second. I didn't pay until I was sure Mike and Dan were coming. But I thought they would because I'd run my mouth. They would do it just so I'd shut up, right? So I went back, told them all that was going on. Guys, we got to try it. It's, you know, it's blah, blah, blah. Okay. So they did it. We signed up that day within hours. Then we set up a meeting with Red and a couple other people. We listened what they had to say. Okay. And we determined then this is what we're going to do. And I'll look anywhere else, just like we did any other business. And if it's 10% of what we think it is, this is big. And we put ourselves in a bubble. We did not, when we first got in, we weren't thinking, how can we conquer all of ONPASSIVE, okay? We were going to take it and build a system for us and bring people into our little bubble. Then we had to come up with a name. We were called Leverage Kings because I love leveraging stuff. Then we discussed back and forth. The name was ONPASSIVE. I go, and we never look at ONPASSIVE USA, ONPASSIVE UK. No, that's stupid. We have the internet. Why would you narrow your potential? So came up with ONPASSIVE Nation. I said, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to make a group and we'll drive people from paid traffic. We had paid traffic. We did actual marketing, hard to believe. And we drove people into this thing called ONPASSIVE Nation. But when we were doing it, we never mentioned the company's name. They didn't find out what the company's name was until either they came in or the third or fourth email. Autoresponder. We had 80 autoresponders. We subtly told a story. Plus, we're building a relationship. Everybody in ONPASSIVE personally knows me, right? It's the way we set it up. So we had a goal. Let's try to get 10,000 people in ONPASSIVE Nation Facebook group, and we're over 20-something people joining every day. It's not what we haven't used it for what we wanted it for in almost 3 years. We haven't marketed at all for ONPASSIVE Nation as a team since August of 2020, almost 3 years. So we came in, and I'm telling all this, and those guys can give their view. We get in, and the conversation went, I need to meet Ash. I know people everywhere we went. I would say, I need to meet the owner. Why? Well, because we're going to bring people in. I want to know who it is. I want to know who's running this ship. And I heard about him, and they talked about these tapes. I never heard him. Never heard the tapes. Didn't know really who he was. I liked what he was doing, but I wanted to know who is this guy. So I asked around, and they laughed. Yeah, good luck trying to get a hold of him. Okay. So we were talking, me, Mike, and Dan, and we said, well, if he's who we think he is, he's going to come seek us out if we make a big enough splash. We bring enough people in and people hear about it. I would go find out who these people are. Let me go see who ONPASSIVE Nation is. And sure enough, 3 or 4 months later, he contacted Mike, because Mike lives in Timbuktu somewhere. There was a communication, couldn't get a hold of. So he wound up calling me. And he said, "This is Ashmi Farah. I'm your friend, you guys, same thing." I go, "Wow, this is pretty cool." And we talked. And I said, he goes, "What do you need?" He goes, "You guys are doing something pretty cool." Now, I want to explain to you, the information he was getting about ONPASSIVE Nation was not always nice. Now, I didn't know that then, but I started getting some pretty evil messages from some people on ONPASSIVE. We're stealing people, we're pillaging the village. People are, and we didn't know in the background, some people were going to the company and asking if they could be switched to ONPASSIVE Nation. That's not what we wanted, and we never tried to do that. It didn't make very many people happy, but we weren't doing that. We had no intentions. But the impact of Mike's videos are now starting to hit outside our bubble. And we didn't know that either. There's no way for us to know that. So when he's got 100 views and he's got 1,000 and he's got 2,500, and we're looking at our group, where the frick are all these numbers coming from? They're coming from Papua New Guinea. They're coming from England. They're coming from, it's spreading. And I said, "Whoa, this is pretty wild." But we didn't know, I promise. We had no idea what the impact was outside of our bubble. We did this bubble on purpose. So anyway, Ash said, "Okay." I said, he goes, "I want to meet all of you." Okay. So we all got together. I thought it was Skype. I'm not sure. And I got together with Mike and Dan, us 3 masterminds, and said, "Look, we're going to grill this guy. All right. We're going to Ethly Bailey him." Okay. Well, I find out something I didn't know. The guy's a genius. Okay? He's smarter than the average bear. So while we're doing this, I can see their face and they're looking at me and I'm going, "Damn, he just flipped this thing around." Now we're on the witness stand, right? He's interviewing us and I'm going, "When the freak did that happen?" I said, "I've been abused or something. I didn't even know when it happened." But he did it in a nice way, but he did twist it right around. And when he was done talking to us, the thought of, this has got to be a special guy, at least I assumed it, that put it into concrete. I knew then this is the place to be. And Dan and Mike, I believe they're going to talk for themselves, believe the same thing. And then as months went on, the only business, everybody, the only one that I got in, believing it's better than I could imagine. I did that with all of them. This is the only one that actually got better every month. Got better and bigger every month than what I first thought. And in fact, the funny part, I want to say this before Mike and Dan get on. Mike would do videos and 20% of them you never saw. Nah, maybe not 20%. Sometimes Mike could do a video and it's out there. I mean, Mike's doing videos. I was afraid for him to say what he was saying. Now, a year later, that video is obsolete. It's what he said would have been giving away kittens. So he was right, but it was probably a little premature. We believed in the company that much. We were just exploding what we think was happening. And we are very fortunate, through the grace of God, I believe, to see the picture of ONPASSIVE, even though we didn't know. I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you go back and look at the old videos, Ash wasn't telling us stuff. We just were putting that. We would go to a meeting, and after we'd all put the puzzle together. What do you think he's saying? Where do you think he's going? What does this mean? And when we were done, we'd come up with a conclusion. And Mini Frankenstein Mike would go make a video. Then he put the Mike Ellis twist on it, and I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I don't know if we want to do that. But never got in trouble. They were always great. And then I look back and think of the ones that he didn't do. They'd be perfect now. But it worked out. I wound up becoming really good friends with Ash. Actually, he's like a brother to me, without a doubt. He's the kindest, smartest, do anything for anybody. That's not a joke. Knows everything that's going on. I love hearing people that This is going, this is going. Do you know this? Do you know that? So don't worry about it. They know. Ash knows what's going on. He may not like Facebook, but he's got a lot of people that work for him that do like Facebook, okay? And everybody's everywhere. But his whole time, he's not trying to get people. He don't want to go after anybody. He never set up, you got 30 days and you can't get your money back. You get your money back 5 years later, 4 years later. So nobody's stuck here, and we're in for the ride of our life. And that's all I have now, unless I fill in. But I think by the time you get to Dan and Mike, you'll know plenty. But that's all I got.
All righty.
Next.
Let's hand off to Dan. Come on, Dan.
Okay. Okay. Well, is there anything left to say? I don't know if there is. Marty pretty much covered it all, so I don't really have anything. On to you, Mike. No. As a lot of you know, I'll give you a little bit of my background. I was 28 years in medical device sales, and what that basically is I dealt with orthopedic surgeons and hospitals, and I provided the instrumentation and implants for joint replacement surgery, and it was a very stressful career for 28 years. And during the course of that time, I was always looking for something else, something where I could get my time freedom. The financial part of it was there. It was a rewarding career, but the financial freedom, the time freedom was not there. And so I always believed in network marketing, like a lot of us. And I dabbled in all kinds of different products and nutritional products and everything, just because I thought that was the latest and the greatest. And a lot of these products, seriously, a lot of these products are very good products. But just due to the fact that they're an MLM, or the way they're marketed, I kind of believed that back then. I liked the way it was marketed, because what they chose to do is market their products on a word of mouth type basis, instead of spending millions of dollars TV advertising and newspaper advertising and all other forms of advertising. So the concept it was okay for me. I believed in that type of a network marketing. The problem was, as we've heard Marty talk all about it, is that you can't take anybody with you, and that you are obligated to a monthly payment to buy those products every single month. A lot of times it's called an auto ship, and it just doesn't work. You can't. People will quit, and it isn't what you call true residual income. True residual income is you do it once and you don't have to do it again, because you have the quality of a product that is going to continue regardless of whether you put a lot of work into it or not. So anyway, I was looking for that time freedom, and of course, Mike and I have been friends for 100 years, and he introduced me to Marty. And other than the fact that ONPASSIVE being an amazing company with real people and real products, I think, and Marty touched on this a little bit, I think the timing was so key for us, because we knew how to market. We've done it with a lot of other companies, and we had a fairly large degree of success as far as bringing people into the company, introducing it to them, and having a marketing plan. But we could not bring those people with us. And when we joined in early 2019, this company, ONPASSIVE, allowed us to build a team. And when we say build a team, it just meant sharing it with other people without having that anxiety of the company folding. We knew that ONPASSIVE was something special, and it was getting better and better every month. In fact, I think Ash didn't even realize how the magnitude of the company, he had the vision, but he didn't realize it was going to take off as fast as it did. So it evolved into something that was just unbelievable. So we had to adapt, and we developed a system, and we worked together, and that system works regardless of how fast a company grows or how slow it's growing or whatever. But if it stays consistent and it's there, our system would work. And that was basically Marty's marketing genius, which a lot of you all know about, Mike's incredible communication skills, and I did some writing and contributed with the financing. And we had to humble ourselves a little bit and just kind of find our own lanes. And it took a while. It took a little while because we just had to try and figure out what the best way to market this company ONPASSIVE was. And once we figured that out, we took off, and it was Katie bar the doors. So, and I will say this: our team it succeeded because of the trust that we had in one another. I mean, I've known Mike I've been great friends with Mike for a lot of years. He introduced me to Marty. Marty and I, right when he introduced me to Marty, he told me that this guy was the real deal, and he is. And I trusted Marty, and I trust Mike, and you can't work together like we have if you don't have that level of trust. And the friendship develops from there. So I was, like I say, I was impressed with Marty's marketing skill, and of course Mike's communication skill. He didn't start out that way. He had a desire, and he persevered with making videos like you wouldn't believe. We would all collaborate as to what we thought he should be saying, and he just kept going and going and going. And he started out not all that great, and he'll admit that. And then all of a sudden it clicked for him. He enjoyed it so much, and he had such a passion for what he was doing, and he just moved forward, and he was like a bulldog, you know. And we appreciated that because, as you all know, a lot of people all over the world have learned a lot from his videos, his incredible videos. So, and we've all benefited from that. And so, the massive growth of ONPASSIVE is, over the years, has been just such a blessing, and we're seeing that fruition right now. We're seeing any day now, any week now, that we are going to realize the benefits of this dream of Ashton Farah. And you can't say enough about Ashton Farah, because when you talk about perseverance and caring for people, I mean, he did not give up. He would never give up. He's had a lot of challenges that a lot of us don't even know about. And let me tell you something, that guy just stuck to his guns as to what he believed. And that's why we're all here and benefiting to this day. So I think the other thing that's so incredible about this business is that we've developed friendships and relationships from all over the world. Marty touched on that. I mean, what other company stays around long enough and is in 200 countries and is consistent with its communication to the point where you are developing relationships and, I mean, close relationships with people all over the world. So that's a real fun thing. So that's about all I have. I mean, it's just, it's been an amazing journey. And I think one of the big keys is the timing that we got in, and us working as a team, trusting one another and finding our own lane. And you know, we're on our way, guys. And we're in an absolutely outstanding place. So I'll turn it over to Mike, and take it away, Mr. Communication Guy.
Mike, before you get going, I just have one question. I wanted to ask this of all of you, or individually ask it. When was the last time you guys had dinner together? Or has that ever happened?
Well, I will tell you that Mike and I, you know, probably once a month we'll get together, you know, because we both live in Colorado. But we have never met Marty personally. We have never seen him physically, personally. So we would love to do that someday, you know. It's just a timing thing.
I see a party coming real soon.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
Marty party. They're dangerous, but they are fun.
True.
They were more dangerous when you were younger, Marty. I don't think I could have kept up with you.
No, that's why I move around the way I do now, is because of them parties when I was younger.
All right, over to you, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, Unpassive Nation. When you think about Unpassive Nation, the first thing you have to think about is that this was not an easy journey. People think we got together, boom, 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 everything happened, and it just went forward. That's not how Unpassive Nation started. I like to start with this. Number one, I start everything in Christ, with Christ, and through Christ, and I end everything in Christ, with Christ, and through Christ. The reason I say that is because if we didn't have the same mindset, the three of us, I can guarantee you we would not be together right now. Okay. And that's because the journey was hard, but we have a common background and a common faith. And that's really, really important in anything you do, I think. As I look at the journey, as Dan said, I've known Dan my whole adult life, literally my whole adult life. And we have been friends the whole time. Dan and I have done a lot of things together over the years, but there came a time when Dan and we had to part ways as far as business went. We always communicated with each other, but we couldn't do business anymore. And that's just life. Things like that happen. And we were trying to build a business online, and for one reason or another, we had to split up for a little while. And for a while, I was a lone dog out there, a lone wolf. And I can tell you, I was throwing darts in the dark. I had no clue. Yeah, I had no clue what I was doing. I had nobody to bounce things off of. I would do things and I'd go, I don't know if this is going to work or not. And then Marty, and he told the story very, very briefly. I got on a webinar because it was a guru, and I was going to get the golden key and learn that one piece of information that would make me successful. So I'm listening to this guy, and I'm going, this is kind of old school. And then Marty came on and he said something, and I said something, and I'm going, well, I don't like this guy, but I like this other guy over here. I didn't know Marty. I didn't even know his name. But this guy over here, he's right. Who is he? I think we need to talk. And somehow, and I don't know how it happened. I really do not remember. Probably Marty. This is just Marty. I mean, he's a bird dog. Once he gets something in his mind, he just goes. I think Marty found a way to get in touch with me on Skype or something, and we talked, and we hit it off right away. I mean, literally, we were on the same wave, the same frequency. We were thinking the same thing. Now, understand, this was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. It was a long time ago. Marty and we knew nothing. We absolutely knew nothing. Now, we thought we knew a lot, but we absolutely knew nothing. And so we proceeded from there, talking back and forth. And it's really, really important when you hook up with individuals, you're going to work with them. Always make sure they're better than you. And Marty did so many things better than I did. I had to up my game. That's a good place to be. But you have to up your game, and you have to get in and learn the things you don't know. So Marty and I were together. I don't think it was too long before Dan came back into the fold. Maybe it was a year or two. And Dan, he called me one day and he said, I'm freed up and I can do pretty much whatever I want to do. What are you doing right now? And I told him what Marty and I were doing. I talked about Marty and told him a little bit about Marty. And Dan is very intuitive. He has great discernment. And obviously, when he talked to Marty, he understood that Marty, he was genuine. If he told you something, it's the truth. And the testimony of that is Dan gave Marty his credit card 2 weeks later. Now, I don't know how many people you meet, and 2 weeks later you give them a credit card and go spend what you need. And Dan had total confidence that Marty wasn't going to take it over the top and spend 20 grand next week. So the three of us got together, and the thing that I learned about Marty, Dan, and I, when we're separate, we're not very good. But you put the three of us together, And we make a pretty good marketing team. I mean, we really do. And it's because each of us bring a different skill set to the table, a different way of looking at things, a different way of expressing things. Marty's the individual. He's going to jump in. He's going to see something. He's going to jump in. Dan, more analytical. He's going to look at it. He's going to study it. He's going I'm really good with concepts. I'm not like Marty and Dan, but you give me a concept, and obviously think about Mr. Mufara. What is he really, really good at? Concepts. He will give you a concept, and it'll take you to the moon. So the three of us, we worked really, really well together. And over the years, yeah, we did a lot of different businesses, but each time we did a business, we learned something new. And then we learned something new. And Dan's right. I didn't start doing videos. I started doing videos 5 years ago, about a year before we came into ONPASSIVE. Is all of this an accident? I don't think so. I mean, this is so perfectly orchestrated as you look at ONPASSIVE Nation and what happened. I don't think there are accidents. But I started doing videos a year before ONPASSIVE, and it took me a year to get comfortable with it, and then to be able to do a video that Marty and Dan talked about. And we could get on, we talk about it, and I go, yeah, I can do that. We can do that very, very quickly. And then obviously all of that tied into Marty's marketing. He would put my videos in there, and then Dan doing the autoresponders. He would organize the videos and then get them out to those individuals that were coming in. So it was really fun, and a lot of really fun things happened. But this whole journey, it was not easy, guys. You know, you look at Marty and Dan and I, and you think, well, these guys, they just get along so well. They never butt heads. They never have an argument. Wrong. I mean, that's just not the way life works. But with Marty, Dan, and I, if you have a disagreement, a little confrontation, it lasts 5 minutes. You get off, it lasts 5 minutes, you forget about it, and you move on. Because all of that's going to work out in time. It always does. Everything works out if you just give it a little time and put the egos behind you. And I think that's something Marty, Dan, and I have done really, really well coming into ONPASSIVE. We really have no egos. We did not come into ONPASSIVE with the idea of branding Marty, Mike, and Dan. We didn't do it. We didn't care who got credit for what. We just wanted to put a system together that would work for us and work for people and move forward and make sure everybody is successful. Now, Marty talked about ONPASSIVE a little bit, coming in and talking to Ash and that whole progression. Again, it sounded very smooth, didn't it? But it wasn't. When Marty, and really this is for everybody, coming into ONPASSIVE, what do? What Marty, Dan, and I did is we just, number one, we took a deep dive. And if you know Marty and Dan, they don't dive in the shallow end. You know, it's not 10 foot deep. They dive in the deep end. It's 200 feet deep. And within 3 days, as we came into ONPASSIVE, Marty and Dan knew everything about ONPASSIVE that there was to know. And there was enough there to spark that interest and get kind of excited that this might be it. This might be something we can do for more than 3 months. And it's because of the deep dive that they made. And Marty was right. And this was originally Marty's idea. You know, we need to talk to Ash Mufara. Well, who are we? We're 3 guys, 2 guys from Colorado, 1 guy from New Jersey. Ash doesn't know us from anything. Why is he going to talk to us? But that's Marty DeGarmo. He goes, no. Don't worry about that. He'll talk to us when it's time. And Dan and I said, well, yeah, I kind of agree with it. But here was our goal coming into ONPASSIVE. Our master goal, massive goal. We wanted to get 75 people under each one of us by the time ONPASSIVE launches. And we thought that launch was going to be probably in 2 or 3 months. That tells you we don't know everything about ONPASSIVE. It didn't launch in 3 months. But that was our grand scheme. That was our vision. 75 people under each one of us. And that'll just be a great start. And as Ash Mufareh comes out with this marketing platform that he's going to come out with, because of what he does, because of the way it's structured, we'll just blow this thing out of the water. Now, obviously, everybody here knows that's not what happened. It got really, really, I don't want to say ugly. It got really, I don't know the right word. It didn't go the way we thought it was going to go. Just some things happened, things that I won't talk about here. And they got resolved. And I won't talk about that story either. But it's a really funny story. But it did get resolved. And then after that, because of what Dan was doing, because of what Marty was doing, because of what we were doing, Ash Mufareh did get a hold of us. And as Marty talked about that conversation, it was really, really good. I don't know if Marty said, but after Ash was done, the first section when he interviewed us, after that, he went in and he talked about the ONPASSIVE business. And we got a lot of the stuff that we put out there from this one meeting that Ash had with us. And Ash was saying things that we had thought about, and then he took it times 10. And when Ash got done, you have to understand, Marty and Dan are never at a loss for words, ever, ever, ever. It was complete silence. And I don't mean silence for 5 or 10 seconds. I mean silence for 45 seconds to a minute. We were just speechless. That's how big the image was 4 years ago. Okay. And then Ash finally came on and he literally asked, "Are you guys still there?" And of course, Marty and Dan came on. Yeah. We're still here. We're still. And we talked a little bit about the vision. It was an awesome meeting. And that's when we understood our mad scientist, Ash Mufareh, his vision, his heart, what he wanted ONPASSIVE to be. And we got our marching orders, even though Ash didn't do that to us. But we knew what we wanted to do. We knew what we were going to do. And from there, we put content out. And we really didn't think about Marty or Dan or Mike. We're putting content out there so that people could see the vision of Ash Mufareh, what's coming, what ONPASSIVE is. And then, of course, over the 4 years that we've been on ONPASSIVE, I don't think there's a month that's gone back where that vision hasn't been expanded. And it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And it is the same thing today. I was on a webinar. And again, this is all ONPASSIVE Nation. When we hear these things, Dan, Marty, and I, we get together and we talk about them. And the vision gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, of course, when Marty talks to Ash, Marty had to tell Ash, "Listen, I don't want to know anything. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything. I already know too much, and I can't sleep now. Don't tell me anything else." But I was on a webinar with Marty 2 days ago, I think, and the tech team was on there. And the tech team came out with something that I had probably heard, but I didn't realize what it is. And it had to do with Academy. It is so massive. It is so big. It will just blow you away when you understand what Mr. Mufareh did and what Dr. Susan did. And that's another thing that as Dan, Marty, and I have really, really enjoyed watching Mr. Mufareh put talent around him in the Hyderabad, on the corporate side of ONPASSIVE, and watch that talent grow and ONPASSIVE just expand to places we never thought it was going to be. I think when you think about ONPASSIVE Nation, I hope you can take some of these things away, and they'll help you in the future. For me, the biggest thing is don't be a lone wolf. It is so hard. You need people that you trust, that you can talk to, that you can knock things off. You can talk back and forth and just kick things around. And Marty, Dan, and I, we still do that today. We're extremely excited about what's coming in the next few days with OConnect, releasing it to the world. Is this the end of Unpassive Nation? Is this the end of what we're doing? We haven't even started yet, guys. Because of Unpassive, because of Ashmufar, because of the vision of Ashmufar, because of the way Unpassive is structured, it's just starting. And that's a really, really cool thing for everybody out here. Doesn't matter when you came in, how long you've been in, a couple of months, a year, whatever it is, we're just starting. And Unpassive, and if you don't know this yet, you're going to learn it. That's what Dan and Marty and I, it's what we talk about. Unpassive was made for you. Not me, not Dan, not Marty. It was made for you. And as you come in and understand what's happening, there will be things you can do within Unpassive that will just blow you away. It's one of the reasons that Marty, Dan, and I, we really don't think about money anymore. It really is a sidebar. Yeah, do we want to do very, very well? Of course we do, and we will. We're not worried about that. But it's just a sidebar. When you look at what Mr. Mufar is doing right now, it's just extraordinary things. And the really, really cool thing about it is, as Marty says very often, we know maybe 10%, maybe less than that. And it's all good, and it's just going to get better. So I'll end it there. That's kind of my take on Unpassive Nation. It's been a tremendous journey, great friendship, but it's just starting, guys. And it should just be starting for you. That's it.
All right. We have a question from RobLynn Live, if we could interject this question. What was as a partnership, because partnerships don't always work. Mini corporations don't always just work. What was your greatest challenge as a team, because you really are a team or a partnership of three guys, to getting to the point where you are now? Were there any challenges?
I'll just say very, very quickly, there really weren't any. I mean, that's how dynamic this relationship was. There was no conflict here. We don't have conflict. Now, maybe I'm wrong. maybe I get off of some of the things we do, and these guys are cussing me out. But yeah, I haven't felt any real conflict. Disagreements, yes, but no real conflict.
How about your, as a partnership, how about your greatest accomplishment? As three guys look at, I assume, and based on what you're saying, you three have exactly the same goal. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So what have been your accomplishments putting this whole Unpassive Nation thing together? Was it growth?
It's trusting each other. I mean, the biggest, what really helps a lot is, I believe things are unlimited. If you can believe it, you can have it. And they're the same way. So, like, when I see something where somebody's going, oh my God, this is unbelievable, I can't say, I look at it more like, well, we haven't started yet. You know, because if you look at the picture, I mean, I've talked to Mike and Dan about goals I'd like to achieve, and it's not money, it's what choices you can make. Obviously, if you have more money, you have more choices, you can help more people. But when I see the setup that Ash has put in front of us, every time I look at something, whatever it is, forget the name of the product, when I look at it as if I look at it as a key. How can I use that key to unlock more potential? Not as a title, not as everything's a doorway to me of how do I, I'm almost afraid to go here. But anyway, people are pretty much the same, and they want to know, but they also want to be in control. So you gotta, when you're working with people, you have to let them decide. And it's a rough thing. That's what's hard about marketing. It's not just being able to, it's knowing how do you get Fred, who doesn't trust anybody, to at least look in door number 3. Because he's gotta go in there to see it. Do you tell Fred to go? No, he's not gonna go if you do that. And everybody's a little different. So you have to have all these little openings and all these ways to get people to go where you want them to go. Ash Mufara made the best setup like that I've ever seen in my life. So when I see it, I'm thinking of that guy that won't do this. I'm thinking of that woman that they don't trust. They're not going to do that, but they might do this. Because the game plan is, I want people to unpass it because it's good for them. It's not a trick. I'm not doing something so they buy a lotion and a potion. It'll be good for mankind. It'll be good for the people. We've had a very high percentage of people do not like putting their name and email or pushing a button. And we think, what's the big deal? I'm telling you, they don't. So we had to set up this maze of bridges and underpasses and bypasses and roundabouts to get people to go where we need them to go. And then when they get there, they think no, I didn't turn right, I turned left. So, yeah, I know, but your left turn is going where I want you to go anyway. But you don't say that to them. And that's what we set up. And then the 80 autoresponders, I told somebody, well, that's overkill. No, our autoresponders was a story. Each autoresponder reminded the person of the one before. Why? Because a percentage of people don't even open up email. So you have to fill in the gap just in case they didn't get number 5 and you're on number 7. You always got to tell people why they're here, why they're looking at what they're looking at, and remind them, because the last time they did it, they got up and accidentally stepped on the dog's tail. It screamed out loud. He forgot everything he did for the first 45 minutes, can't remember what page he was on or nothing. The next time you come back, you bring him in, you bring him up to speed very quickly on the board. I know all this sounds crazy, but Ash is doing all that for everybody. Also, I keep telling people, oh, how about autoresponder? How about, no. You get people to go in the door that they want to go in. They can't wait to open that knob. And ONPASSIVE and AI will take them from there by the hand and wine and dine them, and they're going to buy something someday. That's the beauty of ONPASSIVE. I love that part of it. And I get frustrated with people when they look at something one-dimensional, like, well, that's Academy. What am I going to do with that? Huh. I don't know what you're going to do with it. But it's there. It's an open book. To me, I look at it as a big open book, and I almost feel like I'm cheating. There's no reason you can't bring in 100,000 people with the free products we have in 6 months. Absolutely none. None. I'm not just saying that, by the way. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. So when you look at a YouTube channel, oh, there's 40,000 people, you get X amount of views, that's a joke. Especially when your goal's 500,000 or 250,000 views, and all. I mean, you got to shoot there. You listen. Somebody asked me, and this is true. This happened to Mike and Dan. What do you do when somebody asks you how much you made in a company when you introduce them to it? I don't get asked that question. I have never been asked that question. Why? Because I'm talking to them like I'm a multimillionaire. I'm not yet. But if you walk it, talk it, and believe it, you will be. So why would you talk like you got $20 in your bank account? It just doesn't make sense. You got to let them know with confidence. And when you do that, people don't ask you. That's a fact. Guy invited me because he's going to ask you what you make. I said, I bet he doesn't. Get a 3-way call. We're done. He never asked me. Didn't even hesitate to ask. Didn't think about asking. He thought, this is a very successful person. I want to go where he's going. I can't remember the last time somebody told me no in ONPASSIVE. In fact, I don't remember somebody saying no. I remember it taking 2 or 3 weeks, because when the conversation dies down, I leave. I don't beg them. I walk away. Where are you going? I'm going. You're not going to talk me into this? No. I don't care if you get in or not. Trust me, they'll be back. Because I know the numbers. I know 99% of the people are looking. or 98% and 1% lies. And I'm not talking to Tony Robbins at the time, so you probably lose. I'd rather take that bet. Then you leave and people will come back. I'm a very successful businessman. You ever look at other ways to make money? No. Why? I'm very happy with what I do. Big pause. The guy's waiting to hear more. I say nothing. I said, I hope you're very successful. I am. Oh, that's good. 20 minutes later, I'm doing something else. I get the beep. Instant message comes up. Can I ask you, what are you doing? Cha-ching. He asked me. And if he doesn't ask me today, he's going to ask me in a week. Why? Because he's losing his butt. How do you know? Numbers don't lie. If he was one of the 1%, would he be calling me on instant message? I don't think so. I already know who he is. No, I'm just saying there's those little things people got to look at. You don't need a ladder to go get that top apple. There's some waist high. Just knock them in your pocket. And you give away the free products and you'll be set for the rest of your life. If you share it. If you try to be a marketer, you suck. Why? Numbers don't lie. 98% of you suck at marketing. That's a high number. That's a high number. We could bring in 20, 30,000 people and we failed. So I want you to look at that. Start wrapping your head around that. I've seen gurus telling people that brought in 5 people in a month, you're unbelievable. You're going to do very well. They're going to do very well if they live 2,000 years. And by the way, the people you brought in the first time, they're dead and gone. It's just stupid. It's fooling people. On passive, you can pay them to run the traffic, and you are the best promoter on the freaking planet. All you got to do is share it. You think I'm going to invite my friends and family I haven't seen all around the world into O Connect and tell them it's a business? No, we're going to play Trivia Pursuit. And while we're playing, and you got the thing going, yay, you got the right answer. Hey, by the way, where did you get this from? Oh, you could check it out for free. No. I mean, how do I get it? You're done. What they don't realize, they put their name and email in. They're already in your team. But I mean, all those things are happening if you do it right. Watch what Ash is doing. Watch the system he created. It does the work for you. Just do what you normally do, and they will come. RobLynn Live, you do it from OES, you bridge it over to YouTube. In a matter of time, you'll have 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 900, 1,000, 5,000 people coming in, and now they're in O Connect. And guess what? By accident, they're going to share it. So you're getting multiplied and multiplied and leveraged and multiplied and leveraged and multiplied, and then add a little money to get extra traffic. Do it 6 months. And your great-great-grandkids wouldn't have to work. That's my opinion. That's how I see Unpassive. It's that big. But a lot of people are looking at it like it's some kind of mom and dad, coffee shop. It's not. You're wasting your time. Grab it for what it is and have fun. We're going to have fun. We talked about today. This is going to be a blast. From all the crap we did, this is paradise to me. Bringing in thousands of people for fun. And by the way, you'll probably get some apples along the way. Come on, why wouldn't you do that? But yeah, the biggest thing we had
here. I'm going to shut him up for a minute.
One second. Biggest thing we had, though, I want to go back. I'm sorry, Dan. Is we trusted each other. That's a big
Right.
deal. It really is. That's all I got.
No, and that, along with what Mike was saying and what Marty was saying, this is just a quick note for any relationship, any team that you're building, anybody that you're kicking things around with. Mike was saying that he was a lone wolf for a while and he didn't have anybody to kick anything around with. I was the same way. Marty was the same way, and a lot of you are the same way. But the key is that if something's on your mind, communicate it with the people that you trust. Okay, that's one of the things that has been a key for the success with Mike and Marty and I. And that is, if I'm sitting here thinking, oh man, Marty and I have done this a lot, Mike and I have done this a lot, we'll sit for an hour and talk about something and kick it around. But if something's on your mind and it's really bothering you, or if something is potentially very productive for your team, and you shut up and you didn't bring it up to your team members, and you couldn't kick it around and see how you could develop that, then that's a problem. So the key is communication with whoever you choose to trust. Okay. And look what Ash is doing with us. He communicates with us all the time, and he doesn't leave anything out. You know, well, he has to leave a few things out, but he doesn't leave. He's communicating with us the key things that we need to be successful, and that's what we need to do with one another.
Yeah, let me add a couple things. Number one, that was prime time, Marty DeGarmo, Dan Street. Okay, prime time. And that's one of the reasons ONPASSIVE has been as successful as we are. You just heard it. But I think for me, the one thing that I value as much as anything are the failures we had. And some people aren't going to understand that. We would not have learned what we know today without all the failures of the past. And mine go back 15 years, guys. I've been failing at this for a long, long time. But during that time, because of Marty, because of Dan, because of Mr. Mufara, we've learned how to do this. Now, ONPASSIVE Nation, what should you take from that? Listen to Marty. This is experience. This is years and years of experience. He's telling you how to get to that place of financial independence very, very quickly, as is Dan, as is Mr. Mufara. We've seen, between the three of us, we've seen everything there is online. And the sad part about it, we've tried just about everything that there is online. And that's where the failure comes in. But because of what we learned over the years, and Mr. Mufara coming in and bringing in ONPASSIVE, we have a home. We know you're going to be successful. If you want to cut time frames, listen to Marty. If you want to cut time frames, listen to Dan. If you want to cut time frames, listen to Rob and Lynn. We're sharing all of this with you, and with Marty, Dan, and I, it's over a decade worth of experience. With Mr. Mufara, it's decades. So the experience that you have here, everybody here wants you to be successful. They want to help you. They want to help you get to that place where you have liberty, where you have freedom, where you're at that place where you're living your lifestyle. This is what all this is about. This is what ONPASSIVE Nation is about. It's what Ash Mufara is all about. It's what we do. And I always love, we change people's lives. You know, when you can do that and you can see that life change, there's a joy there that you're not going to get anyplace else. You probably won't make a dime, but seeing that happen, it really is, it's an unbelievable feeling. And you can do that within ONPASSIVE. You really can. Whether you bring them in, use the products of ONPASSIVE, superior, lower price point, make their life easier, all of those things that we talk about. So for me, failure was the key. We would not be here unless we failed a lot of times. So I'm grateful for that. But I'm glad we got over the mountain. And I got over there because of Marty and Dan. So that's it. I just want to throw that in there, Lynn and Rob.
Good stuff. Good stuff for sure. And I think people around the world are taking a piece from Marty, a piece from Dan, a piece from you, Mike, maybe a piece from us in passing, and add all that together. And that's what Ash is talking about. And it will make one heck of a pie. And the pie is going to be an apple pie, as a matter of fact. Do you have anything else you wanted to ask her?
Well, you guys feel inclined to say anything else? We could entertain some questions from our attendees here, if you'd like to. I think they might have
sure.
questions. I'm pretty sure. So go ahead, you guys, ask your questions, and we'll select some of them within reason, and let's hear what the ONPASSIVE Nation guys have to say.
But before we get that far, any idea what these nuggets are between now and the 30th? You got an idea, Mike? All right. All right. Bring it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Dan and I talked about it the other day. I think I know what one of them is. I can't tell you, but I think I know what it is.
I'm
You know,
glad
that's something Mr. Mufara has to put out there. It's not something for Dan and I to put out there, but this is what we talk about. And Dan was talking the other day, and he was talking about the nuclear bombs, and he's going on and on and on, and then he said it, and I caught it right away, and I said, no, that's it, Dan, that's it. And Marty knows what that is too, but we won't go there. We'll let Ash Mufar do it, and if we're right, we'll tell you. And if we're not right, you'll never hear us. You'll never hear about it again.
The other thing.
What's that?
Okay, so Marty, what do you think it is? Are you one of those that can't tell us too?
I think he's been sworn to secrecy.
But you know it? Are you guys pretty sure you know it, really?
It's something that makes sense, Lynn. That's all. It just makes sense.
It definitely makes sense. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Dan's the one that thought of it. I didn't say, oh no, it's no way it's that. After I heard it, I went, oh, that could be it.
Yeah.
So but I don't know. No, I don't want to say either.
Here's the cool thing. What we're talking about is absolutely massive. It's massive. What Ash comes out with, it'll probably be even bigger than that. So we're in a good place.
Yeah. Even what Dan has it's massive. Definitely.
Well, I think all of us, when Ash made the announcement, I mean, all of us let our imaginations run wild, and I think that's part of the method to his madness. I mean, he got me thinking, and I just started. I was going all over the place, you know, and talked to Mike about it, talked to Marty about it, but yeah, I would never put that on public. And the only reason you're hearing us tonight is because we're on your show. But there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there that probably have as good as or better ideas than what we were thinking. You know.
Yeah. I know our imaginations are running wild. You know,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's good to think.
That's a good thing, Rob.
That'll work for sure.
Let me, while we're waiting for any questions, let me tell you a little quick story about Marty. And, you know, we would, people always want the success that they see. And, you know, they see Marty doing all of these things and bringing in 250, 300, 400, 500 people a day through his funnel, which is absolutely mad. And it's funny. He'll have people come in, and I've heard these conversations before, and they'll go, listen, I'm serious about this. I want to grow my business. I want to do it the exact same way you're doing it. I need to know what you're doing. And Marty's never going to tell anybody no. He's going to go, oh, okay, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. And he'll start telling people what he does from the first thing, and he'll just go. And Marty will go for about 10 minutes. And you can see his eyes going everywhere. You know, he's thinking about this mad freeway where everybody's on, and we're directing them, and they're all going here and here. And after about 10 minutes, we don't even know if the guy's still there. There's just kind of a silence. And the guy comes on and goes, I'm not doing that. Are you guys crazy? But that's the solution that ONPASSIVE brings to the table. Everybody has the ability to do what Marty, Dan, and I have done, but so much easier. Oh, so much easier. And it's because of what Mr. Mufara is supplying to each and every one of us. But it's really, really funny to listen to people. Yeah, I have to do it. I have to do it your way. I want to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore. Well, that's about 10 minutes, and they can't do it anymore. So it's kind of funny.
All right. We've got a question here from Wilton Bridson to the ONPASSIVE Nation. How best can you help someone who doesn't have the computer skills? Who wants to take that?
Well, Wilton, let me tell you something. If you can log into the OES system, which you obviously you can, and you get your links, and you shorten your links to whatever name you want for your custom link, and you start making money. Tell the company, take some of that profit, some of the commissions, ask them to run extra traffic to a website that you like. And that's all you need to do. It's no harder than that. You don't need computer skills. It's not, the computer's just a doorway into ONPASSIVE ecosystem. Everything is done for you. But to learn, like Mike said, I mean, I've had a few people say, I want to do what you're doing. I go, okay. I've even shared a screen and start walking them through it. And I've had people flat out like almost mad. I'm not doing that crap. I don't, what? Do what? What are you doing over there? Why did you? Yeah, they just don't even, they don't have the patience. It's a lot of crap. It's a lot of crap. Bridges and, yeah. And I've even got to walk my way through. I mean, you could build this massive highway, and sometimes I look at it, I go, who the freak did that? And it was me. I got to go back and find out what goes where. Why does it go there? What did I say when I got there? And what is this guy doing? Why did he go here? And then somebody will ask me a question on an email, and I got to figure out where he got his info. Is it highway number 1 or highway number 700? Was it a bypass that I put in? Because the answer is different. Then you got to answer everybody where they're at. I know that none of this makes sense. I don't even know why I just went there. But that's part of, if you really want to do a system and we didn't have money. You can hire people to do that. I'm not that guy. I mean, I could do a little coding, but really simple. But Wilton, just do the basic. Don't worry about marketing. If you want to market, you're going to fail. Nothing against you, so is everybody else. 98% of people fail. That's why ONPASSIVE is here. They're going to do it for you. You can play around with Create and put a video in. There's things you could do. You can't hurt it. But let the company drive traffic for you and tell them, hey, I like what I see. I'm going to drive more traffic. You got profits or you're making a little extra money. I would recommend to everybody, if you can, fill your pockets, get what you want, whatever it is you're happy with. If there's extra, tell the company drive traffic. I would tell you that 6 months, as hard as you can. And it'll change your life forever. So that's just my opinion. There's no reason why whatever you make on month 1 doesn't double for 12 months. This is my opinion. Yeah, but I'm only making 1,000. Do 1,000 doubled every month. It's $1 million a month. So don't get too upset over a penny a day.
Yeah, another thing, Wilton, that I would suggest, if you listen to the last corporate webinar, Ash was talking about, as we do introduce new products, you know, OConnect will be coming out, and then we'll be introducing new products. And each new product that comes out, there's going to be a video, there's going to be a training, and whatever product you're interested in learning. You know, like Marty said, you don't have to do it, but because you don't have to engage in any of the products, but you're going to be making money on all of them because other people are interested in those products. But if you're interested in the products, there will be a video. There will be a step-by-step for you to learn. And all of us, seriously, all of us, we haven't seen all of the products. We have to learn. And I'm excited about learning this. Plus, I'm excited about Academy, and look at all the stuff that you're going to be able to learn there. It's just an amazing, amazing platform for all of us to learn. And if you aren't a marketer, you don't have to be one. But if you want to be one, you can be one. Okay? It's that simple. You can shorten your time frames. If you want to be a marketer, go for it. You can do whatever you want to do.
I'm so glad that Dan brought that up. Real quick, Mike, I'll be done.
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead, Marty.
Any product that we see, don't go by what you see now. When the products are ready, there'll be a very short little video. It's very easy to understand how it works. You don't need to know the mechanics of each product. I'm going to want to know because I just want to know. You don't have to. But if it's something you're interested in, it'll be very easy to understand. By the way, the easier it is for us to understand, the more technology was put in. because to take something this big and make it simple, that's technology at its best. Single sign-on and hook all this together in one system is mind-blowing to me. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And you're going to get in, you're going to punch a 30-second video, and when they're done, you're going to say, oh, I could do that. This is simple. But that simple is high technology, just so you know. Everything will be explained.
Yeah, and just very, very quickly for those individuals that just don't have any technical skills. I'm not that far from you. I don't have a lot of technical skills. I'm not that good on the computer. But understand what ONPASSIVE is doing. When Marty talks about pick a page, well, that's an ONPASSIVE page. They made it, they built it, they tested it. And what that means is they tested it, they have a metrics on that page, and they know if that page will make you money. And I can guarantee you every page that ONPASSIVE sends us will be a page that's tested. So when you test that, when you pick that page and have ONPASSIVE drive traffic through it, again, this is stuff that you can direct ONPASSIVE to do for you, because what is ONPASSIVE doing? They're going to work for us. So whether you have technical skills or not, there are things you can direct ONPASSIVE to do for you that will get you to that place quicker. Now, you have to engage with ONPASSIVE. If you do not engage with ONPASSIVE, if you don't get into your back office, if you don't look at things, if you don't learn how they're working, you're not going to be able to do any of this stuff. ONPASSIVE is still going to go to work for you as you come in and buy the products, because you can't make a commission unless you own the products. But if you get in and engage, you are going to learn things you never thought you could learn. I know that's happened with me, with Dan and Marty, with Ash Mufara. I learned things that I never thought I would know. So you engage in the system, follow Mr. Mufara, do what he tells you to do, and then listen to the little things that Dan and Marty are telling you to do. Very, very simple things to do that will help you grow your business. And then from there, as Dan said, the moon is the limit. Whatever you want to learn, however far you want to go, you can go there. And over time, you're going to find out that you're going to learn so many different things that there will be other things you can and want to do. So that's it.
Thank you. And we got another question here from Eric Kessler. He says, do you think there will be a website for just promoting being a reseller?
Absolutely. Yep, without a doubt. Maybe more than one. There'll be many ways to do it.
In keeping with the keep it simple, the KISS saying that I grew up around my house with, just keep it simple. Click in and you win. Click in with the traffic, you win. Click in with the 3 free things, you win. Click in with O Connect, which is going to connect you with Academy, which is going to be right behind it, and you win. I'm no computer whiz, but I'm going to click in because I want to win. It's simple.
And here's Violet's question. She says, what if you don't have anyone with whom to bounce ideas off of?
Come to the webinars we do. We'll talk to anybody. You want to talk? We'll talk. Till you find someone that's close to home and you can get in front of. But yeah, come to the webinars. We'll talk to you.
Thank you. That's interesting. Yeah, talk to anybody, any one of us, right?
Anytime, day or night. Just
I would also recommend, when they get the back office upgraded and they get all that running nice and smooth, whatever passion you have, start a club. Invite people that have the same passion as you, because a lot of times if you have the same passion, you also have the same interest, you might get along, and the next thing you have someone to bounce off ideas.
I have 5 clubs already, not that that's a lot, and if it's all sports related, because that's me: golf, tennis, NBA basketball, NFL, Major League Baseball. People are joining, not in droves because they haven't found out about it yet, but every day there's 1, 2, 3 people joining these clubs. And that's, like you just said, it's similar interests. And can't beat it. It's fun.
I just smile, and because before we came into ONPASSIVE, we had this is going to sound crazy. We had 263 groups for football, basketball, soccer, cricket, hockey, every sport. I can't think of what other ones, but every sport, and because people around the world all have favorite things. Like a lot of people don't know that cricket is much bigger than football, right? Soccer's 10 times bigger than football. But you would be surprised how many people with sports, like you just said, that's very smart, by the way, is set up a thing with sports, because when you talk to somebody about something they love, it leads to other things. It leads to maybe a friendship, maybe some, just like that lady said, or that gentleman, I don't remember who it was. I don't have anybody to bounce it off of. Find a common interest, and you'll be bouncing like a basketball.
Okay, we got a question here.
You want me to read it?
It's okay. How do I find clubs people have in ONET?
I haven't done a lot of that yet, so I'm not sure. I wouldn't do, for me personally, I wouldn't do a lot of building in the back office yet, because I think any day they're going to give it a facelift. And then after that, I'm going to tear it up. I mean, I've got a club, but I think you can actually, they'll have a category, whatever, all these categories about clubs, and then they'll pick one, and your name, your club will be there if it's public. And then people can come and request to join, and you look at them and say, boom, let them in. But right now, I don't know all those details, but I know a lot of people moving contacts and doing all that. For me, I would just be cool with all that until things, when you see Oak Connect in your back office, I think we can start really pushing stuff in the back office. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah, so far the people that are joining the clubs that I have are obviously sports minded, similar interests, but they're my friend in ONET. So I'm starting out slow, like you say, because I want to see what O Connect's going to do. I think it's going to blow up like a big balloon, without a doubt. I mean, ONET is going to be the #1 social platform. Just me, now disclaimer here, just me thinking out loud, in the world. Forget about these other ones. Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. ONET is good. It's free, #1. We're not going to charge you $11.95 to verify who you are. Pretty good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question here. Once I become a reseller, can you guys explain how to sign a big company or a business to ONPASSIVE? Is it only through the website?
It's through your link. We'll all have a link, and it doesn't matter if it's a business, if it's an individual, an independent reseller, a customer. They'll all sign up through the link. That's a very easy thing for you to do. Getting in front of a big company or a business, that's the trick. And if you've already gotten over that hurdle, don't even worry about it. When the products are out and they're ready to sign up, it's a piece of cake. Absolutely piece of cake.
All righty. Okay, we got one more here from Vaveen. Question: can we change OES names to business or association names in different countries, or do we use our names only?
No, I think you can have a business name in there. I think you can change it. I know a lot of people, as ONPASSIVE launches the products and the apples start to flow, will want to incorporate, because there are a lot of benefits to that. And I'm sure you can put that in the OES back office. I don't think that will be a problem.
Righty.
Good stuff.
Question about When you can read that. Go ahead.
When we receive our OConnect link and we're inviting someone to show them the beauty and how it works, do they have to download OConnect, and how will that work?
No,
No
if you
doubt.
invite, let's say you're going to invite somebody to OConnect. You're going to give them a link. They're going to come in. They're going to put in their name and email. They're now in OConnect. You could show it to them, walk them around, do a show or whatever you're going to do. And they're already in the ecosystem just by putting their name and email in. You have to do nothing.
And they're a user of yours.
Yes,
Right off the
for
bat.
life. For life.
I think we've caught up with the questions. Thanks so much. We can kind of wind down now with final comments from each of you. Let's start with Dan.
Go ahead, Dan.
Final comment. I wasn't prepared.
Oh, you want
No,
me
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, first of all, thank you, Rob and Lynn, for having us on. This was a lot of fun. And, you know, it's amazing to me how when you get involved in a format like this, how like something Mike says or something Marty says or something you, Rob and Lynn say will trigger something in my mind. And it gets to be a very, very educational and productive conversation for not only us, but for everybody that's listening to this. And I just thank you for having me, and I hope it was beneficial for you, you know, hearing our story and all of we had some challenges, but we stuck with it, we persevered, and we knew what we wanted to do. And ONPASSIVE is such an amazing company. It stuck around long enough for us to be able to be productive with it. So we thank you again, and you know, I hope it was beneficial for the people listening.
I would say it was. You had a lot of nice comments and responses from the people in attendance, so I know it was a hit. People loved it. So next we go to Marty DeGarmo.
Yeah, I had a good time. Maybe someday we'll talk about the not so good days when we're running and it's safe. No, but yeah, it was great. Like Mike said, I learned a lot from the bad days. Without them, we wouldn't be here. So it's good. Thanks everybody for listening. Hopefully you heard our story. But like Mike said, Dan said, I said, find something you can work with, somebody you can bounce ideas off of. And we got that message. I don't know anybody. There's a way to create a way to break the ice, start chatting with somebody, and you'll find out. I didn't go looking for Mike Ellis. Mike didn't come looking for me. We met at a chat from somebody else. Just keep your ears open. You'll find somebody that you go, I think I could relate to that person. It'll happen. Now that you're looking, it'll happen. So that's all I got. And thanks everybody. I mean that. But I had a good time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And you notice the hour was a little better for most of us. Not midnight. And quite frankly, we're getting a little more rest too. So 8 o'clock is okay. Okay.
And they, Sophie said, did you all pick black shirt for tonight's show as guests? Trio on Passive Nation.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Did you guys get together on that?
No. I'm like Henry Ford. I have many things. You can have any color you want, long as it's black.
That's exactly right.
All right. Now we go to Mike Ellis.
Take us home, Mike.
Yeah, no, thanks guys for bringing us on. It's always fun to come on and chat with you and get the comments and that kind of thing. I think I want people to leave here understanding that you are on Passive Nation. There is nothing extraordinary about Dan, Marty, and I. We're just three guys that got together and were willing to do what was necessary to get where we're at. And with ONPASSIVE, everybody is on Passive Nation because everybody has the opportunity. And that's the great thing about ONPASSIVE. It's a level playing field. Everybody has the ability to not only do what we've done, but to do much, much, much greater things than we have. And it really is all it's up to your imagination. And you know, Marty, Dan, and I, we've got a really, really big imagination, but I know there are a lot of people out there with massive imaginations. Let it run, and then go to work with ONPASSIVE. It'll happen. So hopefully, as Dan said and Marty said, hopefully you got something out of this. When I get done with some of these things, I don't even remember what I said, but hopefully it helped. And that's what I'll end it with. But thanks, guys. I appreciate you bringing us on.
Good stuff. Thanks. And if they can hang out just a minute, I think Lynn will want to take a picture.
If you don't,
maybe two.
if you don't mind.
If you don't mind.
It just takes
Sure.
a few seconds. Well, we want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you for the great questions. Some people said that we didn't get to their questions, but I tried my best. I might have missed a couple, but that was inadvertently. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm sure we're going to have ONPASSIVE Nation back again in the near future, and we'll be able to answer more of your questions. So thank you all for being here. Any last words? Tomorrow is what?
Tomorrow's Tuesday. Let's see.
What do we have?
11. We should have Red, Chris at 11:30, Marty at 12 noon or thereabouts, give or take 3 or 4 minutes.
I think Comfort Comfort is having her show
right.
pretty much every day. I noticed this week. She's got it going. So she be sure to attend her Comfort Empowerment Talks. Always good. Anything else we got going, guys? Tuesday. I think that's it. The major stuff happening. Thank you all.
About it.
Yeah.
And thanks everybody for hopping on board, and we'll see everybody real soon.
Panelists, stay in
8
the
o'clock.
studio. Stay in the studio, panelists. Bye to everybody.
See you real soon, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.